Yo, 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 welcome back to the fifth round. As always, myself, Stephen Moustaris. And man, I've been sitting here breaking down some of the fights on UFC 266 this weekend. And clearly, I've been saying it nonstop. This feels like one of the more stacked cards of the year. Maybe the most stacked card when it comes to the average fan, like the casuals of household names. Like, this is that one. Like, clearly, other than a Conor McGregor fight, this would be the one from top to bottom. I think a lot of people have their eyes on. And a lot of people are going to be fascinated with. And easily the most fascinating part of this entire card, easily, not even the two title fights going on, is the fight that we see in the third featured fight of the night. Robbie Lawler takes on the man, the myth, the legend, the return of all time, like maybe the biggest return in UFC history at this rate. Nick Diaz coming back since... Jesus Christ, we haven't seen the guy since 2015 when he had that, he lost Anderson Silva, but it got overturned into a draw, which I don't think many people remember, and then had the 2-year layoff and from marijuana and just said, fuck the game. And, I mean, before that even, he didn't fight, so I think he fought 2013, he lost to GSP, and then, I want to say 2012, he lost to Condit on some trash. And then 2011, he got that win over BJ Penn. Because, I mean, honestly, 2012, I thought Nick Diaz won that fight. And I think, that's why he got the fight against GSP. But also, I mean, he looked really good against BJ Penn. But now we're sitting here. And if you really look at Robbie Lawler, I mean, he lost to Neil Magny last year in a fight that a lot of people forget just because it just wasn't the same Robbie Lawler. Neil Magny was just doing real good on keeping the distance and whatnot. Fought a really good fight, but it just wasn't Robbie Lawler. Lost to Colby Covington in 19, which I think a lot of us were upset about, but it's Colby. Dude's a dog. And then he lost to Ben Askren, which, I mean, it's whatever. And then before that, loses to RDA. And then I think he pulled one out against Cerrone, but right before that, he got knocked out by Tyron Woodley and lost his belt. So, excuse me for saying this shit, but it's kind of crazy really reading this stuff right now. Is how excited we are as an MMA community right now for two guys that are fighting right now that haven't had a win since 2017, and then the other guy hasn't had a win since 2012. So it's pretty wild to really think of it that way, but we all know fighting styles make everything. And in the game of MMA, honestly, the wins and losses don't mean as much as in boxing, which we've all talked about and we all know. So here's the fascinating things for me, clearly other than Nick Diaz returning, is just the fact that it's cool to see, because Robbie Lawler, I think this is pretty much even money everywhere. The only person that's got, or the only place that has somewhat decent odds is DraftKings, because everything else is even odds. And then this one pretty much is, but they got Robbie Lawler like minus 115 favorite to Nick Diaz is like plus 105. But I would honestly just have to say that's probably only due to the fact that Robbie Lawler has been a little more active than Nick Diaz. And he still hasn't even been that active, but he definitely has compared to Nick Diaz. So you could take that on two hands. One hand's like, all right, Robbie Lawler has been more active. Maybe we should pick that because Nick Diaz hasn't fought since 2015. So it could be a little ugly in there. But at the same time, if you really think about it, with the Diaz chins out there, like, I think this could be almost better for Nick Diaz. Like, you've literally only fought 4 times since 2011. It's been 10 years, bro. Like, that's actually pretty good for you mentally, chin-wise, like health-wise. Like, really, really good. So I think that could play a really big part. Maybe once like the flow gets going and Nick Diaz starts feeling it again, I think maybe the less damage. Clearly, we weren't there in the gym to see what he's been doing, but it would be safe to say that at least from what like Robbie Lawler's been taking and whatnot, it's like dude hasn't been getting beat up at all, isn't Diaz? So fascinating fight. The first one was pretty fucking exciting. Everybody's been seeing about it. I mean, Robbie Lawler at the time was eating, coming up young as fuck, and Nick Diaz was relatively unknown. Knocks out Robbie Lawler, one of the coolest knockouts anybody's ever seen. Throw the Diaz army on the map. And then Nick Diaz was still like that number one Diaz in 2015 when he fought Silva, and then decided to leave the game. And then since then, we've seen younger brother Nate get all the love, all the hype, probably be the cash cow of all cash cows right now in the UFC, other than Conor. So it'd be really cool to see Diaz come out, maybe knock out Robbie Lawler, put on a great performance at least, and, kind of get that recognition back. Because the dude deserves it more than a lot of people do, honestly. And he almost never has gotten that. So I know, regardless of how hard the Diaz sounds, like the brothers sound, like, oh, we don't care and all this shit, I know deep down he probably would really care about getting that recognition and getting that love that he's seen his brother been getting. Because every time we hear Nate Diaz talk, it's the Nick Diaz army. Like, it's Nick Diaz this, Nick Diaz that, my older brother this. So it's like the respect is huge. But I just think for fans, I think it's our time to finally give Nick Diaz some love, as long as he can come out and win. So, and that's the other downfall too. Is like it's kind of scary to touch this fight as a betting fan, just because you want to bet on Nick Diaz, but it's like we just don't know what he's going to come out and look like. It seems like he's not going to be taunting or anything, which almost feels like that's when the Diaz brothers like really like blossom, is when they're just being super disrespectful, but like having fun with it. So I'm fucking excited for this fight. Clearly, this might be one of those ones that like people tune in more. Like the last time we seen it was Nate Diaz, his brother, when he fought Leon Edwards, and he stole the fucking show that night. So I don't know. I'm really looking forward to this fight. Betting wise, I don't think you want to touch it because you're not going to win any money regardless. But if the line changes somehow, I would go with Nick Diaz, but I don't think it's going to change. I mean, I'm just excited to see the Diaz brothers both back in the UFC. I really want to see it. I'm excited to see Robbie Lawler back. Big fan favorite of him. So I'm just excited, regardless we're a win-win, win-win situation for us fans, as long as it doesn't get called or some bullshit on like an eye poke or something. And if I jinx it, I'm sorry, but still, it'd be really fucking cool. I'm super excited to see Nick Diaz back. Let's go, baby. Nick Diaz Army, kids. Let's go. This has been the 5th round. As always, myself, Steven Moustaris. And let's go, kids.